Hello everyone and welcome back to Closets Gaming. Today we are going to take a look at Insane Robots. This turn-based strategy / card game promises a fun single-player campaign, quick engaging turn-based combat with a dash of card game splashed in. Insane Robots is available on Steam for €19.99 with a regional equivalent. I'm a big fan of card games. Similar to many people, I fell in love with them when I was young and I was first introduced to Magic the Gathering. Later on, Hearthstone only increased my love of card games, and when I saw Insane Robots, a game that promised fun strategy card game in really cute graphics, I immediately jumped on to see what's going on. And what exactly is going on? Well, let's start by looking at the most important part in any game. It's gameplay. Insane Robots combines two really popular genres, a turn-based strategy with a strategy card game. The turn-based strategy portion of the game takes place in the campaign, where you travel on a grid-based world seeking to survive each arena and reign victorious. The card part is actually in the battles, where you battle other robots using somewhat simplistic cards. So let's first talk about the turn-based strategy portion of the game, as that will be the shortest. In each chapter of the campaign, you're going to get put in an arena where your sole goal will be to be the last surviving robot. This allows you to take pretty much three different strategic routes. First, to try to avoid combat as much as possible. Second, to engage as much as you can and kill everyone. Or third, a combination of the two. Each has its benefits, as for example, just avoiding combat and letting the other robots destroy themselves will obviously be a bit easier, but on the other hand, avoiding combat will leave you starving for cash. And you need cash to purchase upgrades for your character, whether it's direct upgrades to your maximum health or augments that give you benefits in battle. And you will be forced to engage in battle even if you try to avoid it as much as possible. So how do the battles work? Actually, rather interestingly. At first glance, they may seem overly simplistic. You have your defense matrix on one side and your attack matrix on the other, with boost matrix on the top. Your goal is to have more power in your matrices than your opponent. If this is the case, on defense, this means you will take no damage, and on attack, it means you will deal damage. But that is not all. You not only have attack, defense, and boost cards, you also get cards that enhance your matrices, glitch cards that can either lower your opponent's power or boost your own, but in a somewhat random manner. Direct damage cards, cards that give you more energy to use your cards, and many, many others. But the really interesting and strategic part comes in combining cards. Yes, you heard me right. Whenever you have two cards of the same color in your hand, you're able to combine them to create different and better cards. This manages to create an interesting mesh of fairly simple mechanics and complex mechanics, making the game approachable even by people who aren't well versed in card games, while maintaining a highly complex mechanic for more experienced card game players. But having good mechanics does not necessarily mean the game feels fun. But luckily here it is the case. The game does have a bit of a slow start, I will admit that. But once you get into the mid-game, it becomes incredibly fun as you're finally fully acquitted with all the mechanics and you can use them to their full potential. Insane Robots actually feels like a perfect game to buy for someone if you want to get them into card games. It starts slow, allowing them to orient themselves and get more and more complex over time, bridging the gap between traditional card games, which can feel really overwhelming at first. And once you finish it, it hopefully leaves you starving for more complex card games. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the gameplay without spoiling the fun for you guys. Now, let's take a look at the graphics of Insane Robots. And I personally would call them cutesy. In a way, they remind me of modern cartoons you could see, for example, on Cartoon Network. And that is actually a good thing, as I think this type of graphics can be appreciated by pretty much everyone, including both children and adults. Since the game also boasts a single-player campaign, it also includes a story. I don't think the story is particularly awesome, but it does also not suffer from any obvious shortcomings. On the other hand, I don't really think the majority of players will be particularly interested in the story, so in the end, it doesn't really matter. Another good thing about Insane Robots is its music, which I can't describe in any other words than purely awesome. Though I do have one problem with it. It is insanely loud. I've played the game at 10% loudness and it was still much louder than, for example, YouTube being played on full volume in the background, and you can't put it any lower. I wish this wouldn't be the case. Lastly, we should talk about how Insane Robots run. And I gotta say, it runs smooth as butter. No lagging, no bugs, no crashes. This is how a game should be launched. Good job. So, in conclusion, Insane Robots is a fun entry into the strategic card game market and will surely find its crowd. It has a nice single player campaign and a multiplayer mode and can boast itself as the perfect game to introduce people to the card game genre in general. Thus, you might expect me to recommend it to everyone, but not really. The fact is, if you are already an experienced card gamer, you might feel slightly underwhelmed by Insane Robots, at least in its early phase. But for anyone who isn't a long-standing member of the card game community, Insane Robots is a great choice. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you liked the review, and if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And comment if you have anything you would like to add. See you guys later with more gaming content.